Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33, teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning, everybody. It is the 21st of April. I'm here in Auckland, New Zealand, and we have another Monday mantra for you. These are soul progression lessons, which are guided messages, but executed in a practical way so that we actually know what we're meant to be focusing on and thinking about and reviewing in our lives as we go through our weeks. Now, if you're listening to this on the Beacon app, on YouTube, on Spotify, don't forget to like, tag, subscribe, and do all the things because it helps me to be able to continue creating content for you, being here for you every single Monday, regardless of whatever's going on in my life. You know that I'll just show up in my pajamas if I have to. So don't forget to get your journals out as well, because this is a good time for you to actually set yourself up for the week. It's a public holiday here in New Zealand. We've had Friday off, we've had Monday off due to Easter, and then we've got another public holiday this Friday, which is very interesting because it's Anzac Day here in New Zealand, which means the veterans are being remembered, lest we forget. And that's going to be something we need to bring into this week's Monday mantra, because I was quite amazed how it all tied in with these significant rituals and events that are taking place in our lives. And remember, these Monday mantras are general. They're for everybody. They're for everybody to look at their lives with purpose. And even if you're struggling to figure out how the Monday mantra is going to work out for you or how you are to apply it, the more aligned you are, meaning the more that you're living in alignment, the more that these Monday mantras will make sense to you. And remember, it's also just me being here, giving you the transmission, giving you the activation, integration that you need for the week's lesson that's coming up. Okay, we are going to go over last week's Monday mantra first, because it's very important that we recap before we get into the new week. The Monday mantra last week was, I engage in sacred rituals to honor the cycles of my new life, welcoming each moment as a step in my journey. I engage in sacred rituals to honor the cycles of my new life, welcoming each moment as a step in my journey. It has been a very sacred week. I started off last Monday having a session with a friend of mine who's an amazing healer, and I had a very sacred ritual with her that set me up for the entire energy of the week, because I was looking at a part of myself that I knew that was hanging around that needed to be integrated to give that version of me a voice. And so my friend was holding space for me to have a voice. And so I knew, setting myself up for the week, it was going to be one of those weeks where the key was going to be given to us in some way. I loved how so many of you reached out. I saw some of them. Kieran sent me an email, and then there were some other messages where people are seeing these messages and synchronicities with what I'm saying, because I just do my thing. I don't really look at what anybody else is doing. So I love it when you send feedback like, oh, this person's talking about it in this way, or that person's talking about it in that way, because those of us doing the work in terms of this is our jobs as well as our purpose, you'll hear these messages in different ways. And this is where it's up to you, like which teacher resonates with you the most. Now, as we stepped into that sacred week, we welcomed the essence of the new beginning, drawing inspiration from the spirit of Easter and the new year, which is in my culture that we've just had, which is the Tamil New Year. And we were calling upon the Divine Mother. Now, if you are here in New Zealand, especially in Auckland, I don't know what is happening in the rest of the country or in the rest of the world in terms of weather-wise, there has been a huge storm. I'm talking about, we have had, and it's happening now as well, the ocean has been so violent. We've been up in the middle of the night with breaking pot plants, vegetable gardens flying in the air. There's literally been cyclone energy. And I was thinking, wow, the Divine Mother is showing us her power by this cleansing. And this is why I gave you, part of the reason why I gave you the turtle cleansing meditation, which was given to me by my friend who passed away last year, when he came to me and gave me this healing myself. And when I asked him, could I share it with everybody else? He said he could. He said I could, and it would be at the right time. There's this Divine Mother cleansing going on to help us cultivate the seeds of our dreams and aspirations, because she needs to be able to clear things out before we can actually grow those seeds, because we don't want the weeds there, do we? It's been a time of new beginnings. It's been a time where the earth stirs life, because that's what's happening. There's a big stirring going on. It could be the stirring within us. It could be the stirring in the weather around us. And as the earth stirs, we're rejuvenating our lives with the hope of more prosperity in every area of our life, which means it's like us being more prosperous in everything that we're doing. That's not just in financial terms. Prosperity is in how you live, the quality of your living. Affirming within your heart that each moment is a new step and step on your journey, a chance to engage in sacred rituals that honor the cycles of existence. And with this harvest festival, in terms of the Tamil New Year, which is part of my culture, it's a recognizing and acknowledging how we are part of the land. The clients that I worked with last week were all getting these earth grid messages, earth activating to be able to yield what we are here to do. And these rituals and traditions that are coming in for us, we're creating them ourselves. But I put here last week, it's to purify the body, purifying the mind, creating the spaces of light and intention as you adorn your surroundings and prepare everything that you want to have the savoring tastes in your mouth. One of my favorite words is savor. I use it a lot in terms of when I'm doing things, when I'm consuming a chocolate or something that I really like, I want to savor it. And that's the word I'm being told to tell you. As you're creating these new rituals in your life and you're purifying your body, what you put into your body needs to be something that you savor, and that's something that's very pure. Because in my culture, we were meant to be bringing in all the different tastes, because life gives us this mixed bag of experiences. So salty, sweet, bitter, tangy, bringing in the rich experiences of life. And that may not just be physical taste on our taste buds, but how life is operating for us at this time of this agitation and this weather that is really giving me sinuses and, winds of change. All of that is going on. Worship and offerings. Having your faith is really important. Over the years of doing this work with working with clients, I've been challenged by some clients before who have said, I was brought up in a particular religion that has, put the work that you do as something that is demonic or something that is not of the light. But anything that causes fear or anything that makes you believe that we have to judge another person's beliefs is already something you should question. And so therefore, whatever your faith is, it's about keeping that faith. It's about making sure that it's the joyous connections are not causing disconnect. And as you reflect and start intending your what your goals and things are going forward, it's because we've got the new moon coming at the end of this week, which is going to be the beginning of next week also, but we're preparing for it now by doing this recap and moving into this week's energy. It has been a magical week. Those of you who came up to me at the Lee Harris show and said hello, thank you so much for coming up to me, because when I didn't actually know anything about Lee Harris, and if you haven't, you should go and look him up. He's a world-acclaimed channeler and healer and a speaker and writer. And a friend of mine who also didn't know much about him said, let's go. And I said, okay, let's go. Now, when I went there, I wasn't expecting anything, because I never do expect anything when I go to anything spiritual or anywhere. I just look at what am I meant to learn. And I just found it so fascinating that so many of you came up to me and said hi. And for me, this was just such a sacred ritual, because sometimes I just show up here on these Monday mantras and I go on these podcasts and I talk, but I don't really realize how many people are listening or how many people are engaging with what I'm saying. And so I thank you for that, because it was like a ritual for me, being there, being involved with someone else's wonderful work and seeing so many people that recognized me. So that was really amazing, and part of the ritual of the magic of being inspired by someone. And I was inspired by Lee also. And this week that we've just had with Easter, it's about also recognizing the forces that are happening around us, because everything is like we think about the force of nature, we think about oyster creating a pearl. It's something's being forced broken in order for us to find how we're going to nurture our growth. And we are being asked to acknowledge and celebrate the sacredness of our lives, because we are the key that is opening the doors, and the doors are opening through us being patient. It's opening through receiving the information we're meant to be receiving. Because as we move through the week, I put up a conversations with Lucy. Now, Lucy and I sit on the couch and have conversations all the time, and we just record a snippet for you because she'll just prompt me before I start speaking, let's record this. And during that full moon, I sat all weekend when the moon came up for those evenings, and I sat in front of the moon and I meditated, and I saw Hanuman, the monkey god's face in the moon, and he drew me in, and because it was his birthday. And I was thinking, he is the ultimate shapeshifter. He is a Superman. He is shapeshifts into the monkey energy. And I just remember saying to him out loud in my channeling space for me, I said, if I didn't know what I know now, what would I have thought life was about? And he said to me, you would have thought it was a race. You still do in some ways. And he said, you need to share this with your followers, because once you stop seeing it as a race, that is when I'll give you the key. Stop asking when. And I found that really powerful reminder for me and for all of us. And the card that came up last week was the Strength card, number 19. And this card depicts a tree. Now, if you're wondering what cards these are, they're on my app. They're a digital oracle deck, which are with a recorded meaning that you can listen to. But the picture, the number, everything is up for your interpretation. And that card that I picked served as a reminder for the inner strength that resides within each of us, as well as the primal force of nature that is guiding our journey. To stand strong at the moment is to engage fully with life, recognizing that each new dawn presents an opportunity to cultivate resilience and savor the support that surrounds us. As we reflect on the significance of the number 19 during the week that we've just had, and it's Monday, it's Easter Monday here in New Zealand, it's that number 19, the date 19, was suspended between Good Friday and Easter Monday. And it's an acknowledgement. It's an acknowledgement of a symbol of transformation and renewal. This period of reflection aligns beautifully with the energy of Goddess Bridget, because Goddess Bridget's sacred number is number 19, and she's a figure of immense empowerment, representing the healing that we need, the fertility, the passion, the rising of who we are, and even motherhood. And this is why the Divine Mother was coming in so strongly in terms of Earth Mother, but also Mother Mary, because she was the mother of Christ, which is what Easter is traditionally about. And as highlighted in last week's Monday mantra, the Divine Mother embodies not only the nurturing aspects of the Divine Feminine, but also the passionate fire that ignites our inner drive. And it's really interesting because obviously I'd written all this before going and seeing Lee Harris, and one of the themes that he brought up from the entities that he channels is the soul fire. And this is exactly what I've been picking up in my own way. So I'm going to read that again because Spirit is telling me to. The Divine Mother inside all of us, regardless of what our gender is not only the nurturing aspects of the Divine Feminine, but also the passionate fire that ignites our inner drive to be driven. But are we being driven by ego, or are we being driven by purpose? And there's very gray areas in this, because ego was something that was coming up for me last week, and it's something that's coming up for many of us, because we all have ego, we all need it to a certain degree, but how far can it take us before it needs to break and change to become more of a sacred journey now of true passion and purpose? It is a time of awakening. The presence of the Strength card that came to us encouraged us to connect deeply with the transformative energies around us and within us. It invites us to recognize the duality of our experiences, the gentle softness of healing intertwined with fierce fire of passion. May we draw upon the sacred strength, fostering compassion for ourselves and others and courageously moving forward on our path of spiritual growth. Let the season that we are in remind us of the power of rebirth and the unwavering strength that lies within, guiding us towards our highest self. Because our highest self is speaking to us so clearly at the moment for this new you in this next step of the journey. It's the cycles of the new life that is so very important right now to remember. What is my new life? What is driving me forward? And then we put up a reel about this amazing energy that we've got at the moment. And we need to see it as amazing, because I know very well, being a human being and with my own life, there are things that go on that sometimes feels out of control, and like we're sort of drowning in it. But really, they are all being seen as these sacred events to be able to honor the Divine Mother, to come back to receiving the key, to know that this is a sanctified space for celebration and the resurrection of us, to plant these seeds that we want to grow and see that rose blossoming that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, because it is for our blossoming, and the rituals that connect us deeply to our own beliefs. And these rituals are in the savoring of everything that we do. The savoring of conversation, the savoring of the foods that we eat, the savoring of the time that we spend. It's time to savor. And as we reflect on this Divine Mother energy that I've been talking about, it's showing us also, I've talked about the passion and the drive to create. It's also about the gentle guidance of unwavering love and compassion for ourselves and for everyone around us, knowing that we are all just trying to figure it out together. Taking this moment now to really honor the rituals that you've brought into your life, whether it was lighting a candle, whether it was a prayer, whether it was your meditation, whether you sat with a friend, whether it was a hug, whatever it was, however you connected to savoring life, that is what the ritual is now, to move you forward into something so much more. And then we had the extended meaning of the Monday mantra. The extended meaning of the mantra was: sacred rituals and ceremonies honor our existence and express gratitude by recognizing the past, celebrating the present, and heralding the promise of what is yet to come. The rituals we choose symbolize our readiness for new beginnings. These timeless practices serve as bridges, inviting us to perceive the lessons bestowed by nature and the sacred rhythms of life. It is in the transition that we are gifted the key to the next door that is opening up for us. And sacred rituals not only help us to remember, but also empower us to move forward on our journey. I would love to know what sacred rituals you did, regardless of how small they were or how significant. I would love to hear it, because this is a very important message in how we make this transition moving forward. Right, remember, I'm always here for you, but I am only one person, and I appreciate those of you who are waiting so patiently for sessions with me. And this is primarily the reason that there is so many other offerings, so that you receive something while you are waiting for a session, or needing some brief help with a mini reading or a personalized meditation. Kieran is the person to email with the appropriate subject title, soul33@gmail.com, and please be patient with the response times. And also, in terms of the app, if you need a link to renew your app membership or become a member, please email Kieran so that she can assist you. We keep the link off the app store so that it can be affordable for everybody, which is very, very important to me, because I know that not everybody can get to see me. Okay, are we ready for this week's Monday mantra? Journals are out, pens ready, unless you're driving. It's time to receive the lesson. The Monday mantra for this week is: my success shines when I cherish my individuality, letting my unique light radiate in the world. My success shines when I cherish my individuality, letting my unique light radiate in the world. The first question I want to ask you is, what is success to you? What does success mean to you? It means something to everybody. And this is where my definition of success changes and evolves, because prior to doing this work, gosh, it's really crazy weather out there, but prior to doing this work, I was very much more ego driven than what I am now. Very, very much more ego. Of course, I still have an ego, but it is more rational now. It's much more rational because it's about shining my light and helping everybody else find theirs. And when I was tuning into this week's energy, those of you who've been listening to the Monday mantras for consistently or for a while, you'll know that last June, July 2024, I received messages from Krishna, and I keep seeing the peacock. And this peacock energy comes in again this week. And as I'm talking to you, what I'm seeing is the male peacock opening up and spreading all its feathers, but every feather has an eye of consciousness that is looking at you. Now, some of those eyes are eyes that are recognizing your light, and some of those eyes are what we needed the Hamsa hand for a week or two ago, the eye of protection. Because not everybody's eyes looking at you wants the best for you. And this is why we have people who are trolls, people who are online trolls, people who are envious, people who say mean things, because what is fueling them is not the light. What is fueling them is the ego that is comparing and wishing they were you. And so therefore, as I'm seeing this male peacock, because we've been talking about the divine feminine and divine mother, we're now talking about the beautiful male peacock. Every feather has an eye, but not all of those eyes looking at you are of light. So this is why the protection is coming in. Do you know, I've been watching some ridiculous show on television, and I can't remember what it was. It was some reality thing. And I noticed, I noticed that all of them in the show were wearing a Hamsa hand. And I was thinking, this is so interesting. The men and the women. And I was thinking, I'm obviously meant to press play on the show because of me needing to see the Hamsa hand. And even Kieran sent me a picture over the weekend going, I never realized it was called the Hamsa hand. It's the Hamsa hand, it's the hand of Fatima, there's different names. I've just used it the Hamsa hand because that is what comes to me naturally. So with this display that you are putting out for people, as long as it comes from the light and not purely from the ego, of course there's some ego, you will radiate to attract the right eyes looking at you. Now, this doesn't mean on a big scale necessarily. It may just mean in your business, in your family, in your connections, who is looking at you with light or who is looking at you with destruction. Because as this peacock energy comes in this week, it's serving as a powerful symbol that reminds us of the beauty of life. But as I always tell you with the Monday mantras, the opposite holds true too of what I'm talking about. Because in life, there's beauty and there's also some darkness and ugliness that, you know, we're not focusing on here in the Monday mantras, because my job is to lift you all up and create that energy to set you up for the week. And then we navigate our lives from there and set myself up for the week too. So the peacock comes back again for us to step into our greatness, but it's also an important part of the transformation of who is looking at you. So if you're finding yourself looking at people and feeling jealousy or envy or, oh, I don't like them because, you know, whatever, that's going to dim your light even more. And not everyone's going to resonate with us, and that's okay. That's why I said there's so many teachers and so many people who do similar things in the world, because everyone's going to find their own person and their own tribe. It's this vibrant peacock energy that inspires us to express our true selves. Because if you think a male peacock displaying its feathers in the way that it does, it's attracting the female peacock. It's attracting the polarity of who that peacock is or what that peacock is. And this in itself is welcoming the natural cycles of renewal and growth that are integral for this journey, however you're looking at it. Like, I dance between the spiritual and the human because I like to be in the human existence and figure myself out also, but I also teach because I do have this wisdom that comes through me when it comes to working with you all and my clients. So as we move forward this week, the rose that began to bloom at the start of this month is now starting to flourish. So it's like the rose is opening up, just like how the display of the feathers, and this takes me back to when I was in Jaipur at the beginning of the year, and we were taken to this temple, and I looked up, and there were two. I put this picture up on my Instagram somewhere. There were two huge peacocks. They were like guarding this beautiful fort, and that's when I said to my guide, I said, "What is that up there?" And he said, "Oh, well, that's Lord Shiva's temple. It's only open once a year on Shivaratri, where people can go up." And he said the peacocks like look after it. And these were real peacocks, and I took a couple of pictures, what I could from my phone, and it's like this blooming and blossoming. It's like what I'm seeing now in my third eye is the rose is opening, but it's actually your feathers spreading their wings, and each feather has eyes looking at you, eyes looking and trying to find your light. But if they can't see your light, it's because they don't have their own. And this is going to be really important for those who are blossoming in their gifts or blossoming in their careers or blossoming in their families or whatever you're doing. It's a flourishing time to savor who you are and savor the rituals that you're bringing into your life. So as we ground ourselves into who we are with Mother Earth and then the masculine peacock with beauty, this blossoming of the rose signifies attainment. You know, this morning before I started recording, I kept hearing Spirit saying to me, we're building our kingdom. It's like there are kingdoms, ancient kingdoms of consciousness opening up. And it's the doors to these kingdoms that are giving us this ethereal energy that comes through us to enable us to shine and radiate our light even more. Because as we are being encouraged to reconnect with our inner essence and manifest our aspirations during this time, you can expect this guidance to come from the kingdoms, because it's urging us to shine that light brightly and radiate joyful energy while standing firmly in our power. It feels to me like, I know a lot of us are waiting for certain things that we want, but remember what Lord Hanuman said to me: when you stop asking when, that is when I get the key. And trust me, it's coming from someone who is quite impatient. And one of my biggest soul lessons in my life is learning patience. Because when I do stop asking when, is literally when something massive opens up. So the waiting game is coming to an end as long as you have, resonated with that and gone, I am surrendering. And this week, we take the opportunity to reconnect with friends, reconnect with people around you who can uplift and inspire you, those who embody positivity and honesty rather than anyone that's trying to take you down or not see you for who you are. We also have Earth Day on the 22nd, which is tomorrow. And it serves as a reminder to remain grounded in the earthly journey and clarify our paths moving forward. Being clear about our paths. I see a lot of incongruence with what people say they want and what they're actually doing. And so it's very important that you have that kind of clarity, because the journal exercise for the week that we've just gone, because we're putting up journal prompts on our stories and on our app, is for you to really think about, well, what's behind the door that's opening for you? What's the door opening to? Because all the doors are going to be different for us, because we're all at different places in our lives. So this clarification is emerging for us to be grounded in who we are, but also connected to the universe for these ancient kingdoms that are opening up, which is going to make more sense to you also in the month of May, which is coming soon. Your patience is paying off, and you will begin to see how everything aligns as you navigate the spiritual path. And this is a period of growth. So remember to celebrate both yourself and the connections that enrich our lives. And this is why when it comes to Anzac Day here in New Zealand, people will be up at dawn to commemorate those who were the veterans for New Zealand. And it's really important that we connect back to the ones that came before us, that paved the way for us, because now it's us paving the way for ourselves and the generations that are now after us as well. We have a new moon that I mentioned, and that comes at the end of this week. So it's going to be end of the week and beginning of the new week. It's kind of like how we had the full moon at the end of one week and the beginning of a new week. It's just showing us how cycles are transitioning. And this particular new moon is the flower moon, which I loved because this is why we had the blossoming of the rose, because I didn't realize it was called the flower moon. I channeled the rose message a while ago. And so this symbolism of renewal and opening up and expanding in this vibrant energy of nature coming to life, our true nature coming to life into light. So this flower moon, it also represents the new beginnings and the welcoming of this flower energy, but it's cultivating personal growth during this period of introspection and reflection, allowing yourself to have the clarification of what do I want to manifest this cycle, planting the seeds of intention, collaborating with the right people for you, and growing spiritually by exploring your own spiritual practices, which are also part of your rituals, because this is going to help connect you to your higher self and the preparation for your future goals, preparing through strategy, preparing through aspiration, preparing through inspiration to navigate this roadmap that is coming from that key that we're being given. And you have to really pay attention to what that key is for you so that you have a clear vision of which doors are opening. Last week, there was a bit of delays with the doors opening, but this week, I'm literally seeing the doors open for us. This new moon coming is, we're still setting up for it now at the beginning of the week. This is why you should be listening to the Monday mantras about 3 times a week or more if you wanted to, because it's going to cultivate the energy that you need in order for you to understand and personally reflect what opportunity awaits you. This has been a month of reevaluation, reflecting on what and whom you are loyal to. And as we approach this new moon, we're also approaching the end of the month, going into a new month, and May is going to be very, very powerful. This inward reflection is how true patience is not in the act of waiting, but how we navigate the spaces in between, which is through the sacred rituals while we're being given the key. Retreat offers us a sacred opportunity to pause, recharge, and reconnect with our inner self. So take a moment to retreat, to pull back in some way. And we're able to do that here in New Zealand at the moment because there's public holidays, so we can pull back from what we normally might be doing. But it's encouraging us, this retreat is encouraging us to find that sanctuary and that sacred space within us, to settle with that clarity and the insight. This is a time of importance to gain the time and the space to heal, grow, and align with our higher purpose. So as you go through this week, remember to retreat. It's not a sign of weakness, but a powerful act of self-awareness and intentionality. Trust the process, honor your needs, and find patience in the stillness. Your patience and willingness to retreat will illuminate the path ahead, and so that you can be led to a more deeper, fulfilling life. Your action this week is immerse yourself in the company of those who uplift and inspire you. Create sacred connections that allow you to ground yourself in your true desires and aspirations. Invite people in. I talk a lot with my work, but I'm generally quite private and I don't let very many people in. But I'm learning to do that and let my guard down further in my personal life, because it offers support, it offers collaboration, it offers community. We are not doing everything alone anymore. This is a collective mission that we are on. And the space that is being held for all of us with the people around us is how we are going to shine our light brightly. As we go into the integration part now, I'd like you to close your eyes if you are not driving, so that we can, merge together everything we've just talked about. I want you now to feel and know your light and shadow aspects of you. The light in you that has such a huge, significant purpose in the world. That is your central sun within your solar plexus that shines brightly for the world to see. And not everybody is ready to see your light, because they're still trying to remember who they are, because they haven't let themselves forget yet those traumas that we've been unraveling and clearing together here on these Monday mantras. And this light is going to come in as orbs of light for you to find your peace. And your peace will come from being clear in yourself, purifying yourself, allowing yourself to close out the old phases and cycles with life's natural flow, how Mother Earth is creating medicine through her weather to be able to shine brightly and stand out in our individuality. You are all light workers, regardless of what you're doing. You are here to shine your light. Your Monday mantra this week is, my success shines when I cherish my individuality, letting my unique light radiate in the world. My success shines when I cherish my individuality, letting my unique light radiate in the world. May the peacock feathers come to you as signs. May the peacock be with you to help you step into your greatness. I do know that Krishna's monthly festival is also this week, and the peacock is associated with Lord Krishna. And so we give you that enlightenment on your journey. Remember, I'm always here for you, and if you need any help at all, please email Kieran@soul33@gmail.com. Don't forget to do your homework and let us know below how you are going to be shining your light and who you're going to be letting into your life this week, and maybe the opposite. Who are you going to cut out, because the opposite holds true too. See you all soon.